Okay, let's see what materials we need for this. Of course you need a stack of magazines, any kind, any flavor. A little variety sometimes helps, so that you have some variance in your collage. I have here just a circle traced with a dinner plate onto a grocery bag. You could use that, something as simple as that, to start on. I have a large piece of watercolor paper because it's a little more durable, little thicker than regular paper. So again, I traced on here, and like in the examples that I showed you, some images can go off. You're not limited to the circle, but some images can go off the edges, and you might find that you want to cut around those at the end, that they kind of add some nice out of the box, or out of the circle, so to speak, visual interest. So don't limit yourself to the circle necessarily. That's kind of just like a guideline to go on. So I would suggest putting on some music, light a candle, and definitely take a minute to set your intention. And by that I mean see what you want to explore and dive deeper into in doing this process. Ask yourself what you want to focus on, what you want to bring forth, what your goals are for the next couple months, the next year, anything that you want to unblock that you might not be wanting to think about or wanting to spend time with. Now's the time to set an intention. And don't filter too much the images and the words that you pick out, because your unconscious could be picking up some things that you need to hear or that you need to work on. So literally, just zip through a magazine. Don't give it too much time. And any visual, any word that pops out, anything that speaks to you on any level, it might not make sense as you're moving forward with other images, but anything that speaks to you. You could just take out tails. There might be something about this image that speaks to you that you want to work with. So just go forward and just literally rip things out. You're not committed to them. And once you get a pile together, we can start with our glue stick and our scissors. We can start organizing this. I've seen videos before, and I've taken classes where the teacher literally cuts out every single piece of paper that he or she has found, and it's about a half an hour of torture, so I really don't want to do that to you. But I will show you some things that I've started on, and my intention really is just kind of developing this book that I've been working on, and I just wanted to see if I could bring forth anything that I might want to know, or some way to support myself, or how I was feeling about that. And always, regardless of what I'm working on, I get garden pictures, because who wouldn't want that as a life goal right there one day. So I'm going to leave this a full page, and I'm probably going to fill in the background with this, because you do work from the back to the front, or the middle to the edges. And I'm going to kind of cut this to fit in the circle. I really liked this image somehow, and this will lead me to tell you that you can go in and cut out all those designs if you want, which is kind of what I did with this image. It was a full page. It had words around it, but I went in and I cut around the figures. I'm not even sure how this is going to fit into my collage. Again, you don't put too much thought into it. However, you'll find that when you're looking at your finished product, some things will take on new meaning or make you think about something else that you weren't even aware of at the time, which is kind of the nice thing about this practice. It really is powerful and healing and transformative if you just allow the process to happen. So I'm gonna keep this with my images, not sure what to do about it. Same with this. It was, I think it was a museum image, and I just cut around the pots just to give it some visual interest instead of just making everything a rectangle or a square or a circle. It'll give it some visual interest when you apply it in there. I have a lot of words and phrases. I probably won't use them all because that's a lot for this space. And write all about it, obviously, so I'm working on a book. I'm not sure what to do with this yet. It's a nice image, and I might go in and cut her out, maybe. I'm not sure. So anyway, just gather and gather and gather a bunch of images. Work with them, cut them out. I might go around this girl, cut them out, and then you start building from the background forward, adding your words last, or maybe you might want to hide some words inside if you don't want them to be too obvious. But take your larger pictures and, you know, make it work in there, cut those out, and we'll start building from the base. Just show you. Again, I don't want to make you watch me cut out everything bit by bit. I took the big flowers. That's my base. Kind of made a rough semicircle with that. Then I cut up a picture that was all together, some houses, a nice little watercolor, the person alone in the boat. And then to break up these hard edges, which you don't have to do, but usually that's where I put my words later, any kind of way. I like when things are not all horizontal. That'll break up your edges. But I cut around the one girl figure, and I'm just going to put her in the middle to kind of soften up all those edges and add another dimension. Again, this is not a fine art piece of work, so be very free with it and don't worry so much about the final piece. It's actually just the process of adding these things and taking the time to spend on yourself. Even the cutting of the images is a little therapeutic, and the placement of everything is a little therapeutic. So just take your time with it and enjoy the process, and I'll check back in a minute. So I cut out this woman out of the full picture, and then as far as my pots go, this worked out, I thought, really neat. Here's the whole piece, but I'm going to line it up with the edge, and it adds another dimension. It almost looks like she's part of this composition now, a little girl sitting in the boat. And I'm just thinking out loud for you all to let you know kind of how my head works when I'm doing this. But I took this little pathway out of the bigger picture. It was down in the background somewhere, and I want to incorporate it. I just think it's kind of neat. I'm not sure what the symbolism is, but kind of just a pathway, and I'm going to match it up with some of the edges that I have. So it almost blends in, and some of your layering will blend in, and then it'll kind of reveal itself the more time you spend with your finished product. So as far as my imagery goes, I'm pretty complete. I never did use my big piece that I already cut out, but I'll probably use that in another work at some point. So now I have to pick and choose some words to use. Time spent making memories, time well lived, living with our dreams. And you don't have to cut out the whole phrase. You can obviously just cut out a word or two that appeals to you. Manifesto, creativity, renewal. So I'm just trying to wrap this up and put it all together and see how it ends up. I kind of like the laundry on the line. It's kind of a homey feeling. And again, I'm not sure how I'm going to cut this out, if I'm going to go around the circle when I finish and leave these hanging off, but I'm liking the way it looks so far. And keep in mind, I would have some music playing in the background, and you know, just really closing the door and shutting myself off for a little bit to concentrate on this. You can always walk away and come back. You can look for more images if you've exhausted the ones you have and they're not really working for you. But I'm going to kind of finish this off, and then we can talk about it a little bit. Okay, finished product. This is what I ended up with. I actually did go ahead and cut all those jagged edges off, except this is hanging off a little bit, but that's okay. Yeah, kind of happy with it. And to me, there's some things in here about home and stillness, and I know we've been making our travel plans for next year, so I'm thinking that might have a part. But definitely the turning in that I've been doing, and the creativity in order to work on this book that I've been making. So I think that's kind of where I am right now. So, and these things change, at least for me, almost daily. If you like this process and you kind of find a little meditation and some powerful movement in this, you can make this a practice. You can accumulate images that speak to you, or words, and you can create these every once in a while. I actually, grab this real quick, I actually keep a journal that I just save images in and create with a little bit. It's hard to see with this. Let's see if I can zoom out. You know, just words, and I always add the date and kind of, you know, see where we're going. I'm a big collector of quotes. It's just nice to kind of see your journey and your interests, and always what you need to work on, or what your conscious, subconscious is trying to tell you to work on, where your focus is, where your goals are. You know, a lot of times we get lost in the day-to-day, and you know, it's just nice to look back and kind of see your own personal journey. So I have pages and pages of these things. I don't want to bore you with them, but you know, and this journal page and size alone is limiting, like the mandala is. You know, it's kind of its own composition in space, in a space. So I'm working on a really big one now, so that's a little intimidating as far as imagery goes. But anyway, I'd love to see what you all end up with, if you feel comfortable sharing. Again, this is a very personal thing. It's a personal kind of exploration project that I really hope adds to your the whole journey that you're going on with Teresa for the spring detox. I think it's a great way to just kind of pull it all together visually, and see what comes up for you. And I hope it's something that you carry on, a practice that you do later. And sorry about the dog toys. Something that you take with you that you can rely on, you know, when you just need to sit quietly and spend some time with yourself, spend some time with your thoughts. It's a great way to get that all collected. So please feel free to post or share privately. I'd love to see how you all took this and ran with it. And again, really appreciate the opportunity to just share this little artistic piece in the group. I think it's always nice to mix things up a little bit. And just appreciate you all taking part and making this your own little creative space.